welcome you to Daytona International Speedway, warm Daytona, Florida, for the Eastern Airlines final IMSA race of 1985. Cars down in front of us right now getting ready to go. There's the pole sitter, and right now let's check the starting lineup for today's race. On the pole will be Sarl van der Merwe, qualifying at a new track record 129.608, teaming with Bill Adam. Outside of row number 1 will be David Hobbs in that new BMW GTP car, his teammate Davy Jones. In row number 2, John D'Andretti also teaming with Hobbs and Jones. Inside of row number 2 will be the current champion in GTP cars, Al Holbert. His teammate will be Al Unser Jr., and Al Unser Jr. will start the race in that car. Outside row number 2, Rob Dyson will be the lead man. Drake Olson also in the cockpit, and the third driver will be Bobby Rahal. In row number 3, in the BF Goodrich Porsche 962, Pete Halsmer, his teammate will be John Morton. Outside of row number 3 will be Bruce Levin in car number 86, and his teammate will be Bob Wally. We have a car moving to the inside down on the pit apron, and apparently will be coming into the pits here before we get the green flag. Meanwhile, the field comes off. That's number 16 Dyson car that is pitting here before the official start. The pace car pulls off, the field accelerates, and Jim Sidley, the official starter for IMSA, waves the green flag, and we are underway with the 3 hours of Daytona. A lot of traffic here on the tri-oval as they break now, heading into that first left-hander. The field moving through there nicely, however, as Sarl van der Merwe in the number 40 car has jumped out into the lead as the rest of the field snakes behind him. Now David Hobbs in the number 12 BMW looking for the opportunity on the inside. The field comes out of the corner called Camel Corner and onto a sweeping right-hand turn, which we'll refer to as the kink. Van der Merwe now moving out as Rob Dyson has made the pit stop, and something obviously wrong with that car. Dyson, Olson, and Rahal, the 3 drivers of this Porsche 962.
The last rule we had, Bob, was that Drake Olson would start the car out today, so that perhaps his brake behind the wheel. Here is that hot Corvette, that sleek Corvette, Chevrolet Corvette with Sarl van der Merwe, the South African, behind the wheel, leading away, and followed behind him as we look at the number 40 vet is Donald. Donald, the ugly duckling, they're calling this. That's the BMW car. That's just a mule. They had no idea they could really be this competitive this weekend, although after testing, they felt they had chanced upon maybe a very, very good combination. And indeed they have. This is not even the race trim for 1985 and a half for 1986. That car running in second spot right there. If they do well today, boy, everybody else ought to watch out for 1986. They can be really good.
Well, the Corvette has had some problems here. They tested this car last week and were 3 seconds under the track record, and did have a turbocharger fire earlier in the test and qualifying sessions this week that kept the car off the track during the final practice period.
I think I saw the BMW car down on the bottom, Bob. I'm not sure. I saw that characteristic purple and orange. Let's see this time when they come by past the front stretch whether or not David Hobbs in the BMW car is still in contention.
Well, they come down in front of us, and we check off the first couple of positions. The BMW is indeed off the pace as Van der Merwe continues to lead, but into second position now is the Pete Halsmer BF Goodrich Porsche. In third spot is the number 86 car, that of course driven by Bruce Levin, and in fourth position the number 46 driven by John Paul Jr.
We've got some debris here on the front stretch right underneath the flag stand, and the yellow light is flashing.
And it's the engine cover off of one of the cars, the number 40 car, which lost the Sarl van der Merwe Chevy. You can see the engine cover has come completely off of that car.
And has damaged the rear wing. Full course yellow rear damaged ring on the Corvette number 40. This is really going to set them back. You can see a little bit of damage also to the roof line itself. The wing straightens itself out. You see as the pressure, as the car goes into the corners, as the pressure starts to push down on the rear airfoil, it collapses.
The pole winner's car is being worked on. They're trying to replace the entire rear wing. In the meantime, Bill Adam is cleaning the windshield on the front of the car. But this is a serious setback for this Corvette GTP team. They have been known to run fast and run quick. but oftentimes the first out of the race.
Pete Halsmer in that Porsche and Bruce Levin running second there. They have accelerated quickly, and I guess we're under racing at this point, although the green flag has not officially come out.
Yeah, it's gentleman's courtesy. The starter told Pete that the track was clear and the green flag would be officially waiting for everybody next time by, and so that was apparently the signal to turn loose the horses, and the Porsche is flying again at Daytona.
Pete Halsmer coming down the tri-oval here. Right behind him is Bruce Levin in the number 86 GTP car. Running in third position, the number 46 machine of John Paul Jr. Fifth spot belongs to Bob Aiken in the number 5 car.
Paul and Joe Gardner, they're coming together. Smoke coming between the two of them.
Just as the cars were going on to the tri-oval, some contact. You can see, despite the fact that these banks are wide, you have some real close and exciting, and in fact, even at times, bumper cars out there.
John Paul made what appeared to be an assertive move that time when he came out into the bank in turns 1 and 2. There you see him right in the middle of your screen now, the big RC logo on the front. There he is moving into the chicane. That's Al Unser Jr., remember, in Al Holbert's car, the number 14 racer right behind John Paul.
And the BMW car is into the pits once again. This is at least 2 pit stops. It is the second stop for this car. So the machine that challenged Sarl van der Merwe in the early going, the BMW prototype, started second, is in the pits, and trouble continues. Oh, look at Aiken go to the high side of John Paul Jr. The 3 wide in the high banks. Look at the dicing going on, and there is a prime example of faster cars overtaking slower cars and how close the competition can get.
Boy, it really is. This is a race for 4th position. You can see it may change here just because they encountered slower traffic. It looks like a Camel Light car. Now they're approaching a GTU car going into the infield section of the racetrack.
Well, Larry, it looks like that perhaps your prediction is going to go by the wayside here, as John Paul Jr. is slowing in that number 46 Conti racing machine. Now the battle for the lead shaping up on the high banks. Jim Busby moving to the inside of his teammate Pete Halsmer. They race through the tri-oval now down the
that's on the
back stretch into the chicane. It is still Pete Halsmer with the advantage, and one of the slower cars gets off of the course, now pulling back onto the course right in front of some of the slower cars. And we have a spin as Jim Busby has spun in number 67. There he's moving away from the spin, but did lose some distance there on the leader.
Jim just going into the corner a little too hard and makes no contact with anybody else. Spins right out in front of about 3 or 4 Camel Light cars. Nobody collides, and Busby drops her back into the first gear, takes off, and there's the leader now with a clear field, not only in front, but on the side and behind him.
Well, we'll get Jack Arute down to the John Paul Jr. pit, and he will report to us on what is going on with that car in just a few moments. Another vehicle slips off of the racetrack. That's the number 71 car, driven by Amos Johnson and Jack Dunham in the GTU.
And we've got problems with the Halsmer car. Pete Halsmer had to go off course to miss that sliding GTU car, and he has damaged the left front securely. He did make contact with the Johnson Dunham car, and our leader is in trouble, and this could be the race for Pete Halsmer. Let's see how bad that damage is.
But in the lead at this point is the number 86 car, driven by Bruce Levin. In second position is Bob Aiken, and in third now is Jim Busby in car number 67. There's the interval between first and second, Levin and Aiken.
Left the race a couple of minutes ago with Levin in first, Aiken in second, and Busby in third. While away, Brassfield in the GTO class had an accident. The 86 car of Levin and Wallach dropped out with a turbo problem. Meanwhile, Al Holbert had worked his way to the lead in the number 8 car. A.J. Foyt took over and looked like he might win before he had engine problems. When we return, Holbert and Al Unser Jr. lead it.
Al Holbert is your leader, but look how close the racing is. The Jaguar right up on the back bumper, but every time the Porsche gets onto the high banks, it's see you later. Now, it is Hurley Haywood trying to make a move to the inside, but closing the door is Al Holbert. Well, they're looking in the engine compartment of Jim Busby and Rick Knoop's Porsche 962 as Busby sits helplessly in the driver's seat. The car began developing some mechanical problems just a few laps ago. It was in a steady 4th position, but now it appears as if the afternoon is going to be all over. And the Jaguar has passed, and Hurley Haywood is in the lead now, dropping Holbert to second. Let's go to Jack Arute down in the pit area.
And that was a very good and very fine pass for the lead, because we checked with the crew chief on that 14 Lowenbrow entry, and they are indeed concerned about fuel consumption. I asked them point blank, I said, gentlemen, can you go the distance without another stop? He shrugged his shoulders and then shook his hand back and forth and said, we hope so, but I don't know if we'll be able to do it.
Yeah, maybe Hobart is in trouble with fuel. Here he is once again breathing down the back bumper of the Jag. He moves to the outside. He's going to try and take the advantage going into the first turn. He goes to the tri-oval. He'll dart back down low. He moves back into the lead.
Al Hobart with the power on once again. Moves around, and here is Peter Halsmer bringing his
right rear tire
into the pits with a flat right rear tire. A tough break for the car that was running in third position. So both B.F. Goodrich cars have had problems here in the last couple of laps. Halsmer and Morton running third in with a flat tire.
And Hobart being first off course.
Three abreast racing, and there just isn't enough room. Hobart gets the right side of that car off of the track, but it really doesn't bother him at all because he did not give up the lead.
That was the Bob Hurlin, Roger Andre Camel Light entry, as he was just trying to hold his own and stay out there in the pack, and here come the leaders breathing down the track.
Hello, everybody. I'm David Sullivan. We're going to go back to the racing. 84 laps have been completed. Hobart has stretched out his lead over Hurley Haywood. The only major accident of the race so far, Bart Bowen and Mike Allen, but there have been no entries. Let's go back to race.
We are near the end of this race. Hobart streaks down the tri-oval once again here, completing another lap. 84 laps now have been completed. He pulls the car back onto the road course once again, but with a comfortable lead on Hurley Haywood. Third position is the number 68 car driven by John Morton and Pete Halsmer. In fourth position, the other Jaguar, the XJR 7, the updated version of that car with Tullius and Robinson. So the Jaguars are running second and fourth, and the Buick number 45 of Gans Badman and Paul still running in fifth spot.
I remember that he started the race in Preston Hemm's car and moved all the way from a 24th starting position into a challenging 4th or 5th position when he turned the controls over to Al Unser Jr. So Hobart has turned in a full day. Not only is he winning this race in his own car, but he went a great distance toward putting another competing team's car, although it was a Porsche also, but another team's car in contention to challenge for the first place. A first place that A.J. Foyt held for a long time until the boost got stuck wide open.
And here comes the checkered flag. Al Hobart wins the 3 hours of Daytona and another victory in the canceled IMSA Camel GT Series for 1985.
It seems like they should have waved the caution flag with the checkered flag, because the caution flag, I think, is what won it, at least this day, for Al Hobart, although he does have the ability to win it under almost any conditions.
17 laps of this race were run under caution. We had a total of 4 full course yellows. First coming on lap number 8 and the last coming on lap number 78. There is the Camel Light winner coming down the tri-oval and taking the checkered flag.
So Jim Downing has done it again. Downing, who won the last 2 races, picks up his 3rd in a row under Camel Lights. And altogether, that's his 8th season win so far this year. I should say the year is over. His worst finish, can you believe it, was a 6th. Jim Downing, win number 8.